Good afternoon and welcome back. And if you've been catching my other readings, this is part 3 of Do You Have to Let It Linger? Now, I don't know if Spirit's having a joke with me, cosmic joke, but this has been a long reading. And they're saying, yeah, so it's a twin flame journey, spiritual awakening. Yeah, it's not quick, you know. Your path's not quick. Depends on what path you're on, also, you know, and also doing the work, breaking yourself free from these chains, from that devil energy. Yeah, and I'm going to say it, you know, and some people might not want to hear that, but there's a lot of lower energies on this path that targets us, twin flames. Can't speak for anybody else, but all I can speak of is my experiences and the truth. Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of dark come at me, target, stopping us from being in union, you know, because the dark, now powerful our light is. I've been told I'm Earth Angel. Recently, a lot more things have been surfacing for me, because, you know, I heal every day. And I've healed on my spiritual awakening journey about 8 years now, but longer before that, you know, because I was set upon a path where my cross to bear, shall we say, was a chronic illness and abuse I should not have put up with. So I was set upon that path a long time ago, about 20 years ago, maybe more now. Yeah, more. But you know, so I've been on this this long train track of healing and not knowing where my destination was taking me, not knowing if I was going in the right direction also, you know, just listening to something, feeling something, pulling me, guarding me, my angels. And so, you know, I've had Earth Angel, yeah, I've had songs like that, and other angel songs, you know. That was when the angels was coming through to me, trying to get my attention, you know, the ringing in my ears, frequency. Yeah, they was trying to connect with me. You know, angels' frequencies, very high. My frequency at that point of my spiritual awakening wasn't very high, you know, so I was experiencing ringing in my ears every day. No word of a lie. It was just every day, constant. And one day I remember just thinking, wow, just I wanted to just bandage my ears up and try and finger this noise. Wouldn't. There was trying to get my attention, you know, and also because of the ascension, you're raising that frequency. So yeah, you know, you're going to feel the ascension symptoms. And angels and spirit guides, ancestors, they're going to make you aware of all around you. They're going to send you signs, signals. The biggest signpost outside of my home is called Angel Place. Now, this house was the house I started to hear my angels and understand I was being guarded. In my old home, I was just too numbed down by these chains. Yeah, not broke free from the chains. That was the other song that came through for the last reading. But in this home, it's a new environment, you know. I was surrounded. It's my new beginning. 111. I keep seeing that, new beginnings, and an old cycle closing and new beginnings coming. Fire horse energy. I've known that for quite a while. That's searing me, you know, because I've broke free from these chains, and my intuition is more on point, you know, and I'm listening to my angels and I'm being guided freely now, you know. I'm not kicking and screaming. I'm just saying, take me wherever. Take me wherever, Spirit, yeah? Because I know that this direction they're taking me is for my highest good, you know. It's for the highest good of others as well. And I always knew that from day one. I mentioned it to my twin flame, saying, I'm here to help others and help others heal. And you are too. But we're meant to do something together. Now, that was very early on in where everything was still confusing, you know, where I was still hearing these songs, which I hear songs all the time, but I was just starting to put the pieces together why I was hearing these songs. I was like, why am I all of a sudden like got music going on constant, you know, waking up, going to bed. Why? Well, somewhere deep inside myself, that old soul, I knew why. So I started to go, you know, follow these music notes. I started to, instead of kicking and screaming and, oh no, this is going to change my life forever and this is going to be too hard. This is going to be too hard a track to travel down, you know, and it's going to change. It's going to change everything. I was changing at that point anyway. I felt it, you know, it's that pull when you're twin flame, and I can't speak for others on the spiritual awakening, but my path is twin flame. And I felt it, and it was taking me down this lonely. I knew it was going to be lonely also. I knew that because I'm hearing songs constantly in my head, you know. I'm seeing visions also. I'm having visions. Things are coming online for me, you know. The more I stay strong and I push through these chains, there's more and more coming online for me. But the songs, yeah, very, very much early stages. And it's thing you can't ignore. You know, when it's happening to you, you know that it's happening for you. Yeah. I knew that this thing that was happening to me, it was turning my life upside down, making me feel really unsure about the life I'd had previously, and questioning and doubts and all of that, and people in my life. Yeah, it was it's changing my life. It's turning everything on its head, and that's what it does. You know, you're going down this lonely road. Yeah, that Lonely Road song coming in my head again. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Yeah, like a drifter I was born to walk alone. I've made up my mind, I ain't wasting no more time. So here I go again. Yeah, I made up my mind to follow these notes, to listen to the music, to really, really open up to what was coming in, you know, because I was on this road anyway. This was always meant for me. This was always going to be the direction. This was my life's destiny, you know, my path. Yeah, it was all preordained, predestined. So I made up my mind, I wasn't wasting no more time. And here we go again, on my own. And I did. And I accepted I was going to be on my own. And I accepted many people won't accept this path of mine. But, you know, they don't get to control me. I control me. I choose which direction I go in my life. You know that saying, you get one life. Well, you don't, but, you know, one as in what you remember until you start waking up, the saying. Yeah. Well, this was the direction I chose, and nobody could control that for me. You know, I was taking steps. I was going in this direction that was pulling me. You know, that pull, it's so powerful anyway. Nobody could control this. I remember speaking out to my partner saying, you may have controlled other things previously in my life, but you won't win this battle. Yeah, and it is a battle, you know. You're battling everyone around you. just to stay on this predestined path of yours. You're battling your friends, your family, society, judgments, preconceptions, is it? Projections. Yeah, you're battling all of that because you're the one that can hear these notes. Your family and your friends can't. Your outsiders can't. Strangers, when, you know, when I've talked to certain people, I know that my angels are talking through me. So when those people, you know, when I speak about the new golden age is coming 7 years ago, I knew it was coming. I was meant to see that, you know, the seer in me. Yeah, prophecy. Yeah, call it prophecy. And, you know, the more I did this healing, the more my gifts opened up. And yeah, I know that I shock people with my precognition, and I shock my family and my friends, Twinflame. I know that. I understand that completely. But do you know what? This is my path. Mine alone. You know, yes, I'm on it with my Twinflame because that's the destination, you know. Inner union, in self. Yeah. But first you have to walk this lonely path on your own to find that inner union, you know, the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. You know, so you're going in this direction on your own at first to find, to follow these notes, yeah, to follow your heart. You're taking that direction, and it's lonely, and that's no, you know, no word of a lie. It's lonely, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time for you to reach inner union, but you can do it. You know, you just got to stay strong. You know, my friend, this reading was my friend asked me, she was like, "You're doing a reading now? I really need some clarity and guidance." I said, funnily enough, I'm going to, and it's a relationship reading, and it's for the collective and also twin flames. And yeah, just, you know, so just that morning when the reading came through a few days ago, yeah, she's staying strong, and she's following, well, she's following her heart, you know, and she's going to take this direction because she's lonely anyway. You know, she's on this path on her own. You know, you can be with somebody, but it can be very, very lonely. That's how my friend feels. So she's choosing, yeah, she's choosing a different musical note for herself. She's following her heart. She can hear, she can feel something that's beckoning her, you know, not to get too whimsical and all that, but yeah, it's a very magical path, this also. And also, yeah, my friend, she messaged me yesterday, and it's a very, very close friend, you know, being from 18 years old, so we've got past there, you know, and we've got that connection there. And she said, "Ellie, am I going mad?" Or she goes, "This certain thing happened to me today, and it was about twins." And I was like, right. I said, "Well, you have just watched the reading on my twin flame journey, but yeah," I said, I did say to you 7 years ago, maybe 8, yeah, 8 now, this is the 8th year, we're in the 8th year of my awakening, that is coming for us all. Not just me, not just a few out there. It's global. The Earth's consciousness is raising, you know, we're moving into we're in the new golden age, you know, the new Earth. So the prophecy that I was given 8 years ago, as well as many of us, I remember speaking to her saying, "You will do one day, it's coming." I'm one of the ones that had to work first. They told me this. They said, you have to go ahead of the pack. And I was like, why? Why me? Yeah, you know, because on this journey, you're like, oh, yeah. Another thing I've got to do. And you just think, well, I thought, you know, after 15, 20 years of healing in my human journey, my human body, my emotions, my, you know, all of that mental, it's all connected, all connects. I thought, what? You're sending me into this for now, the spiritual awakening. I'm just finding peace. I'm just finding that stability in myself, that confidence, that self-esteem was just coming back, you know, because of things that I'd experienced. Knocked it out of me a bit. So I was like, whoa, what now? Like, you know, this house was my new beginning. Unbeknown to me, Spirit had other plans. You know, my path was destined. I was meant to go through what I'd gone through in my human journey to prepare me for my spiritual journey. You know, my body was meant to be cleansed, detoxed and taken care of. I was meant to learn those lessons of taking care of my body, my mind, all of that, you know. And it was that preparation. So I had to get ill, and I had to experience the things I'd experienced, so abuse and all of that, you know. I had to go through all them experiences because there was it was teaching me, you know. There was my lessons there to learn to become strong and to break myself free from these chains, and to take back my control, you know. Because we're all sovereign beings. We all come here on our own and we leave on our own. We're all sovereign, you know, and we all have control of our own destiny. You know, to take responsibility for emotions, stepping up. Yeah, we can all step up and take control of our lives. Nobody has the right to control us. Nobody. And that's another thing, Glenn. You know, society trying to control us, the dark, trying to, you know, what's that word, Spirit? Encroach? Something's coming through, but yeah. So, trying to deter me off my destined path, you know, trying to put me in a different direction. Why? Because the darker parts of this journey know that if I heal my divine feminine and my divine masculine and my twin does the same, mirror souls, what one heals, the other heals, different ways, then what happens? That light comes together because you've found inner union. So you've took back the control, you've took back your strength, you've broken them chains, you've shattered them chains at this point. Once you get to your late stages on this journey, those chains just, you know, this iron bar, you're Rocky. That's another story coming up. Yeah, you're Rocky Balboa. You've got that eye of the tiger. Strong, you know. Once you accept it also, and you accept that others are not going to accept you for speaking of what you know, some will, and you'll find them people. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do what I do, because I know that there's many out there, just like my friend when she said, am I going crazy, Ellie? Am I really seeing 111? She goes, I've been on this bus today and I'm seeing 111, and I'm at the other end chuckling away because I've walked this path. I'm down this track. I'm further than this person on this track. I'm at the inner union stage. You know, that surrender stage, that last stage. I'll just give it up to God. I'm going with the flow. I'm using my intuition. I'm letting them use me, you know, as that vessel that I was meant to be. Yeah, I'm being that aerial, that antenna, you know, for spirit for us to get these messages out. Because I know there's many people like my friend that was going to experience this. Spoken it out to my sisters, who was awake, and I was like, it's coming. This cosmic egg that's cracking, and it's coming. And it's coming for us all, not one of us. You know, yeah, you can, if you choose to be asleep and stay asleep, you can keep stalling it, and you can keep, you know, and every path's different. So I can't speak for others, but it's hitting many, you know. The ones that the awakening hits, they're taking a different direction. They're having eyes to see and ears to hear when they do this healing. When you go on this long journey, start seeing beyond this world, you know, and seeing the dark for what it is. And you start hearing, you know, you start hearing spirit guides, start hearing your intuition. Now, I wrote some automatic writing, but like always, the minute I sit down, the channeling just comes through, you know. I follow this song. This song now has stopped going on in my head because I took my little pooch for a walk earlier, and woke up with the song again, and that's how I know there's another part to this reading. It's not finished, you know. The story's not finished. It's a love song, you know. It kept going on and on and on and on in my head, and I thought there's part 3. Knew that anyhow. Said I was going to be doing part 3, but yeah, this is the last part. So it's 20 minutes now, so try and get it to 40. Videos have been going through actually a lot quicker, even at 30 minutes. So yeah, I think like TikTok as well. Part of this journey is to break down old paradigms, what's been done before, and bring in the new, you know, trailblaze. And TikTok, it's more like a scrolling, isn't it? But the people that stay and watch my videos, they're the people I'm meant to reach. So don't worry about you know, how many views and all of that I'm going to get, because this path, you know, once you've travelled down it and you've done the healing, you've got eyes to see, ears to hear. You know, it's not about ego, you know, because ego, balance that ego out by taking this path. So that ego would have been, oh, I've got to get 1 million views, and I've got, no, because you've balanced at this stage. If you've done the work and you've done the healing, you've gone the distance, you've chosen your direction, you've stayed on it, you're following your heart, and you're listening to this music going on in your head every day, which you can't ignore. I don't listen to Alexa anymore now. I don't need to. I just go, Spirit, send me a song. But yeah, these songs, you know, music, it hits our, pierces us, doesn't it? Where things can't really pierce, you know. Yeah, it goes to the heart and to the soul, core of us, who we really are, you know. We resonate with that. So yeah, Spirit will get through. Just like my friend, she's seeing 111 now, and she's she wants new beginnings, you know. She's changing direction in her life because she wants new beginnings. She's seeing 111, sign from the universe, you know. They're gonna get these signs to us. It'll be like shop billboards, and it'll, last time my son saw it before me, big 444, luminous, gigantic numbers on the side of a building, just as we was going into the hotel, because we had to stay there in Philadelphia because Spirit orchestrated it to leave me in Philadelphia, you know, not just me there, my partner and my son. You know, they're stressing and going, wow, we've got to get over, what's going on? And I'm like, Okay, here we go again. Because I'm used to it. I get sent to places for grid work. It's things Spirit wants me to do, you know. Still figuring the grid work part out, but I'm understanding it now. So if things are stalled for me and I get detoured to some far off country, I know why. I know why, but my partner and my son don't know why. And that sends them a bit like, Mom, why are they doing this? No, but I'm like, it's my path, just go with it. It'll all make sense. And you know, like this path, when you start releasing that control and you let Spirit take the reins, yeah, the same. You let us take the reins. Makes sense, starts to make sense. So I shall do a little bit of the reading. So yeah, do have to let it linger. Yeah, this song's been lingering for many days now. Part 3, yeah. Yeah, it's about the cycle, you know. So the runner, the chaser stage, the back and the forth, the figuring this out stage, it lingers. And there's no time on it, you know. There's no time scale. How long it's going to linger for, you know. And it's up to you. You do the healing, you know. You buckle down and you stay strong and you become rocky, you know. You fight for all these obstacles because there's going to be many. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's many. In the dark, there's seen and there's unseen. But you know, when you start having eyes to see and ears to hear, you can see what's going to come at you, you know. You can hear it, you can, before it gets to you, you know. I've been protected many times on this path by unseen forces, by my angels. Now they can't get to me now. Why? Because I've done the healing. I'm very protected now in the spirit realm. They told me that. They need me to be protected because of the work that I'm doing here. So it's going to help many. Spiritual warfare, it's real. I'm just going to say it's real. Look around the world. Hollywood. That's spiritual warfare. That's the dark. Attacking the light. Why is it being exposed? Because it's time. It's time to, you know, take our control back. Break free from them chains. And take our, you know, the light exposes the dark. So me being protected by spirit and other light workers, light seeds, way showers, they need us, you know, they need our light to get out to the people that it needs to get out to, because that raises Earth's frequency. What happens to the dark when you raise the frequency? It becomes light. And if it was just that simple, wow, you know, I just want to shout from the rooftops. It's that simple. It's not simple. It's not a simple path. It's not a simple journey to go into all of your wounds, your traumas, your ancestral. It's not simple. It's hard, deep, exhausting years on this path, you know, on your own. Majority of it on your own. In and out times, your twin will come in, you know. And that's another thing. When my twin comes back, I get a surge of creativity, and vice versa. I know that. It's like we plug into each other, you know, like that Avatar film. And you're coming back for a plug-in, and then you go separate ways, and you do your healing again. It's like a merge. Well, it is a merge. It's not like a merge. It is a merge. So it's like you're plugging into each other's energy source, and then you're like, right, time to, and that's cycle, you know. And yeah, that's why this song is lingering around me, because I've not seen my twin for a while, because I've been doing my things, and I've been detoured to Philadelphia and went to Las Vegas for a holiday, and that's how I got detoured to Philadelphia. But I expected that, because they're seeing me, see things coming before they come. I thought, oh, what's going on here? What's going to happen here? And when I saw that big fur, I was like, right, okay. Then they sent me to the Liberty Bell, freedom, you know, freedom for women, freedom for the female, the divine feminine energy, also, you know, just freedom for slavery, yeah, that's, you know, and then they sent me to Hoover Dam also. All these places that I get sent to, there's things there for me, you know. In Hoover Dam, as you go in, you're greeted by 2 big statues. I think the bronze angels, but they're going to be readings coming up. So there's going to be Rocky Balboa, there's going to be Ready or Not 2, there's going to be Liberty Bell, there's going to be what's the other one, what I've just said, it's gone out my mind. Hoover Dam. Yeah, I know this path now, you know this path. This is what I got from Hoover Dam, and it says Ellie needs glasses. No, that much. Oh, that is so small. Yeah, it says these are put through a kiln, and left to smoulder in wood shavings. Not all survive the trial by fire. The ones that do cultivate strength and beauty. Now, things, objects and crystals that I found on my travels, there's no coincidence, you know. This is just a coaster that caught my eye. Yeah, my angels was like, look at that. I was like, oh. And then I turned it round and I was like, got to take one of those home. No coincidence on this path. Things you find, a scent for you, you know. Crystals, I've had many crystals sent to me. Spirits orchestrated that. I find them, you know, to elevate me to my next level, like my Lemurian quartz. This was very first seed crystal that I saw light codes from, you know, so that activated that DNA then, the light codes, the light language. Yeah, you know, so no coincidence on this path. So let's get back to the, yeah, the automatic writing. So, let's have a look. Yeah, so the stage, the runner chaser stage, that's that cycle, you know, that needs to break. Because you're in this never-ending cycle, and it's emotional and it's mental and it's physical, you know, physically draining your body, spiritually, and it's stalling your spiritual path as well. I recognise that the more I fed and the more I chased my twin, you know, the more exhausted and depleted and off track. Yeah, I went a different dark, kept going backwards. Yeah, saying you was going backwards. But the more that, you know, when I gave up the control and I started to realise that every time, you know, we was in this loop, this never-ending cycle of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, wasn't doing any of us any good, you know, and it wasn't creating these calm waters that I feel now. So you had to break that. Yeah, you had to break them chains of that cycle. So yeah, I did, and got past all that. Went on to do carried on healing every day. I do something to do with spirit. Now that might seem a bit excessive. It's not. When you're in touch with spirit, they want you on this path, you know. The work that you put in and you dedicate to it pays off, and you know, you become stronger also, like, you know, so you don't get swayed off this path like you would before, you know. But yeah, I decided, right, this is it, I'm walking away. I'm closing that door. It needs to be closed. It's going to hurt like hell. I'm walking away from not only my best friend, but my soul. So I was walking away from myself, you know, because you one soul, two bodies, same frequency. So you're gonna feel that. I knew that even though was gonna walk away, I knew at that point, because I'd been feeling and hearing and getting all the messages and all of that coming through. I knew that wasn't going to stop. Probably more ramped up, you know, than ever, because of the separation that I had to create. I had to create that distance. Needed to happen, because it was just a never-ending cycle of pain and yeah, it's just never ending. It's just going round, you know, like that hamster on a wheel. Couldn't get off it. One day something just snapped to me and I was like, right, I am done. This is it. This is it. I'm making a stand now, because I took back my control, because it was all in my twins' control, you know, because I was more, although I was hurting, and you know, I know it wasn't done on purpose, and what I was doing wasn't done by purpose. No, it was all meant for us to heal and become strong and break free from those chains. I understood that, but I'm not sure if my twin understood that. You know, I had to have faith that she did understand that, and what I was about to do, she'd done to me many, many times, and I'd always accepted that. Yeah, I'd accepted that. I'd accepted coming in and out, in and out, in and out. You know, I'd accepted that to that point. But I had to have faith that my twin would understand why I was closing that door. And I closed it. And I closed it for 3 years. And there was many, many times I wanted to reach out, you know. I could hear these songs going off in my head and my twin reaching out to me. All that. But I didn't. And I stayed strong. And I did that because I knew that if I was to go reach out, it's like it short circuits, you know, because these short circuit bird in my mind, and it's going zzz, zzz, zzz. And I knew my twin was healing, and I knew we needed this distance. And yeah, it was painful, and there was times I really wanted to reach out, but I knew that, you know, taking responsibility for both actions and emotions, I knew that this was two-sided, you know, it wasn't just on me. It wasn't just on me to heal. My twin was also healing that side. And I knew we needed that distance for us both to heal, you know, to come into inner union in ourselves, to find our peace, to find our strength, to find our control of our own lives, you know, not let outsiders, society projections, you know, push onto us. Knew that, you know that I'm the divine feminine of this path. I'm intuitive, psychic medium, all them gives, you know. My twin's more grounded, logic, all of that, you know. That's the masculine, that's the feminine. That's what we have to balance out inside ourselves. We can't do it for each other. You've got to do it separate. You've got to balance those very, very powerful energies out inside yourself. When you do, that's when you come into inner union. Balance. Things start becoming more clear, you know. Eyes to see, ears to hear. And that's when union then happens. And yeah, it did happen. Proof is in the pudding, right? So my twin returned, and I remember saying, after 3 years, again, prophecy, after 3 years, I remember saying to my son, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling her coming back in, she's going to reach out. And he's like, Mum, what are you on about? It's been 3 years. I'm like, I'm telling you, son, I know. I have precognition, you know, clairaudience, clairsentience, because I followed my intuition and I've done the work. gone very, very deep into this path. You have to. If you're a twin flame, you're gonna. It takes you there. And he's like, man, that's just wishful thinking. You want your best friend back. I said, son, my past's different to anything that I can ever explain to you. I've explained certain bits, but when it's happening to you, you know, it's different. It's different. Can't explain it to people. It's different. So he's like, okay then, Mum. Didn't believe me. Which I'm used to that. I'm used to judgments and I'm used to people not believing me. That does not faze me one bit now. I'd say a few days later, not even that, I could feel the energy just surrounding me. The songs was revving up, the telepathy, you know, that twins have, getting stronger and stronger and returning like really, really powerfully. Dreams, visions. Yeah, the dreams. I was having more dreams of us. Yeah, a few days later she returned, I'd say, and I was sat on my sofa and the text came through, and before I even knew, picked up my phone. 3 years. So time, you know, this journey takes time, and there's no time you can put on it. It's just when you do the healing and you come into inner union in yourself, that's the key. Healing, you know, inside yourself, healing your heart, taking control, but that divine feminine, divine masculine, that's the key. That's what we're here for, to balance that inside us. Then it, union, then we go, you know, our mission. That's when the real shoots the fan. That's when we take our light out, you know. Powerful, powerful force. Powerful separate, but very, very powerful when we come together. You know, it's like that kryptonite, Superman. Very, very powerful. It's unconditional love. You know, that frequency we hold. And that's what we're seeding out into humanity. That's what it raises, the consciousness and the frequency, planet Earth. That is what the dark don't want. Because it's spiritual warfare. Let's get real. It is. There's things that you can't see until you're awake to seeing those things. Take Hollywood as your biggest sample. I got sent there also and I was dreading it. Prophecy again, I could tell who I am. My qualities I hold inside myself, those angelic qualities, you know, they've said I'm an angel on earth. That's not from an ego thing, because you balance your ego. They've told me that, the spirit guides tell me that. Much, much more also. Multidimensional, you know, not just one. Multidimensional beings. So we're much, much more. Hence why I have many, many gifts, not just one. Yeah, because we're not just one. We're very, very much more than that. But I knew going to Hollywood, wow, it depleted me for about 3 to 4 days. And then I started to be like, right, come on, take your power back, Ellie. Like, you're on holiday with your family, Christmas holiday. And I made the most of it. I'm not saying I didn't, but wow, did I feel it in my energy body. Because there's some dark, dark stuff there. But there's light breaking through. And that's why the dark's exposed now, because the light's breaking through. I'm going to leave it there. And yeah, I wrote the automatic writing down, but it's just channeled through the way it's channeled through anyway. But I will be talking more about the ancestral line and how I broke that in my mother's line, and also a father wound. Many ancestral, you know, wounds and traumas passed down to us, passed down to our ancestors, passed down to our nanny, our mum, passed down to, you know, yeah. It stops here, stops with me. I've broke that chain now because I've broke my own chains. I've broke free from them, and by breaking free from mine, I've set my ancestors free. That was another reading that came through, and there was having a party going off in my head, and I saw all party poppers. Yeah, and my mum was there. I'm very, very proud of me that told me that, you know, if you caught that reading. But they want just my wounds, you know, to heal. Go way, 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 way back. You know, it's that suppression, that hierarchy, that patriarchy, that control, that power, that darkness. They want just my wounds. No, I had to heal my ancestors' wounds, and my mother wounds, and my father wounds, and yeah. And that's a whole nother reading as well. The exhaustion on this path gets real because you're going deep. Deeper than you've ever been before in your life. But when you get through it, wow, your light that you found inside you, can't put a price on that. And I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, she'll be back on. I'm also going to check on my little pooch who's with my son. She seems quiet and settled. So I think I'll give up that control and, you know, let him take the reins and look after her for a few hours. Yeah, and I'll come straight back on and I'll do the ancestral reading because I can feel the downloads coming in now. But this song now is out my head. Now once you face something, that's when you can move away from it, you know, but you've got to go into fears and you've got to face it, and then that's when it'll, yeah, you don't give it that power. If you give something power, it's going to take it. You take your control back, and you take your power back. What happens? It's that bully, innit? It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The dark starts to fade and the light starts to raise. I'm going to leave it there because it's 47 minutes. It's going to take quite a while to come through. Might do, depends on TikTok. But yeah, I'll be back on. See you soon.